Part of it too is when you close the corner, right? The side that you actually emphasize is not the top side. It's actually the adjacent side where the wall faces. And the same is true for like this kind of, especially true for this kind of enclosure, low enclosure. It actually reduces the value of the top side. There's a few reasons, okay? It shrinks the total number of empty spaces, and it makes it therefore harder for white to develop there in the future. That means white playing there is more of an anti-black's formation thing and less of a white developing thing. In terms of development, the top sucks now for white. Even for black, of course, playing this enclosure makes it easier for black to build the top, but easier is not necessarily what we want, right? What we want is like more potential and more future moves. And so the reason why Go has this constant focus on playing the empty area, it's because the more empty the area is, the more future moves you have there, the more space, right? It's like if you play Catan, like Settlers of Catan. I know these analogies are silly, but when you play Catan, right, especially a multiplayer like 4 or 5 people, even if you don't get the best, numbers on your spots, but if all your friends like took all the best numbers but because of that, they're all kind of clustered together with each other, they have no room to build and they end up just kind of like traffic, right? Whereas you have like all this room, you have like the whole half the board to yourself. It's the same with like all kinds of games, right? Basically, you just want to increase your options, like cards in hand, right? Have a lot more future moves, basically. So as soon as black plays here, you could say that the number of future big moves are less. Like if you just dumb it down, like, oh, we have maybe a move here, and then a move here, and we're kind of done, right? You can play more things, but anything beyond this that you play is not going to look like an opening grade move anymore. It's going to be like a middle game, late game kind of move, like expanding into the center. Next, black would want to develop onto this side, right? Similarly, right? That's why if black plays something around here, white's going to want to play on the top. So the thing about these corner enclosures is that one characteristic of a valuable side during the opening is a side on which either player could develop above the third line. And so the problem here is if you imagine white in any way trying to develop, like even if we just don't put this black move to undercut white, but if white plays a second move, like it's just undercut already by the stone here, right? It's leaking kind of. So the best white can possibly do points wise here is to play on the third line and, you know, something like this, like 4 points basically or less. And actually white probably plays on the fourth line just to lightly reduce. Like there's so much space here. There's so much space here, and yet white is just gonna pretty much come in to reduce. I guess realistically, white's gonna try to attack these three stones here, but in terms of territory, white's not gonna make much here. This kind of enclosing the corner, same thing with like 4-4 and a knight's move or anything like that. It decreases the appeal of the side that it plays onto, and it increases the value of the adjacent side, the side that it faces, because it also acts like a wall, especially if it's like on the fourth line. Like if it's like this or this, that's an even better wall, right? When it comes to the right side, the left side, I mean. And so if you just imagine black playing a move here, and then in the future, eventually expanding out to the center, you can see that this is like a multi-dimensional territory now. So it's a really good development. So that's kind of the idea. One more thing I can add is that if instead of playing here or here, if you play on the fourth line, although everything I said is still true, this move also has the feature of making the top side actually still interesting, because it is a fourth line move, and it means white's interested in undercutting black, like maybe going here or just maybe keeping their distance with the goal of hoping to get this move. And for black, right, when black starts playing more moves on the top side, because black's on the fourth line here and not sort of like self-reduced, it makes the top side still decently interesting. Special thanks to my patrons for making this all possible. If you guys got value out of that, please do like, comment, subscribe. Stay safe, keep sente, and I'll see you guys in the next one.